Being successful in school goes hand in hand with knowing how to study, and that's an elusive skill for a lot of kids.
So how can we help? Let's ask Ann Dolin, founder of Educational Connections, Inc., and author of Homework Made Simple, Tips and Tools and Solutions for Stress-Free Homework. Ann, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you, Hillary.
So one of the most challenging things, really, for any parent is getting their child to sit down and do their homework. What do they need to consider?
Well, first is the start time. Really there are 5 times kids can start homework. Right after school, after about a half-hour break, before dinner, after dinner, or before bedtime. And younger kids really need to start homework after school. Usually about a half-hour break is a good amount of time. And then they have the expectation that they get started. So whether you're a working parent and your child comes home, takes that half-hour break at around 6:30, or it's right after school, they still need that routine. Older kids are going to push the envelope. They're going to want to start later and later. Good thing for older kids is to get them going before dinner.
Okay, time routine is important. What about a place to work? Is one spot, a desk or somewhere in the bedroom, whatever, is that important, or should you mix it up a little bit?
Sean, you really should mix it up. It's interesting because many of us think that homework should be done at the same place every day, day in and day out, and that's simply not true. Research shows that actually when kids change locations from day to day, they're more productive. So the place should definitely be distraction-free. So maybe the bedroom isn't a great place, but it can change. So maybe one day it's the home office, next day it's the dining room.
Let me ask you something. Some kids are so burdened with homework, and some do it better than others. Should parents ever ask for an accommodation if their kid's being overwhelmed, but they know the work and they just take 7 hours to do their homework each night?
Absolutely. Sometimes teachers are simply not aware. They don't know what goes on at home. So if that's the trend with your child, you absolutely should let the teacher know. Shoot her an email and say, I've noticed that this homework is taking Jimmy far longer. The rule of thumb is that kids should have about 10 minutes of homework per grade level. So a 3rd grader should have about 30 minutes, 6th grader 60 minutes. So if you find that your student is taking much more time than that, let the teacher know.
Used to be TV was the one big distraction for kids doing homework. Now we have video games and cell phones and all kinds of things that are distractions. How does a parent handle that?
It's really tricky. Some of the easy things to control are TV and video games. They should not be on during homework time. Even music can be distracting to kids. Although some kids say music helps them study, research has shown that it's actually not that productive. Especially if students want to learn something long-term. When they have music in the background, it's not conducive to help them study for tests that may be a couple days away. So the thing that's tricky for parents is the cell phone. And new research out of Stanford is showing that when kids have these things called tech breaks, they're more productive. So that means that the phone should really be in another part of the room or in a different room. Kids should be doing their homework. So maybe they work on their homework for, say, 20 or 30 minutes, and then they can go check their messages, send a quick text, but then it's back to homework.
How quickly should parents contact teachers to talk about them with their concerns, particularly with repetitive problems with their child?
Hillary, one of the big mistakes parents make is waiting until parent conferences in November. And if your child has had difficulty in the past, and even if you just want to introduce yourself, do it now. Teachers usually send a welcome email start of the year. Respond to that. Introduce yourself. Tell them any issues that you struggled with in the past, and let the teacher know you're on her side, you want to support her, and that you're a team in educating your child.
And a lot of good advice there. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Ann Dolin is founder of Educational Connections, Inc., and she was a former Fairfax County public school teacher.